that is in the pot?
Two things that's in there that you can think of, or three. Whatever.
Like
We have, what's it? Looks like
carrot, yeah, and green onion. And then the onion itself, green onion, red onion, garlic, ginger, turmeric,
and bell peppers.
Yes.
And the spices and herbs.
The spices and herbs.
We have lots of different spices and herbs like, what is it? Turmeric is one.
We have turmeric,
Basil.
we have basil, we have oregano,
What's that? Is it acid? Black pepper. Tarragon. Ooh, that's really wonderful. And it smells good. Now, when you do this, do you add more spices to it? Because I know you have spices, or spice enough.
yes. Yeah, we spice when we taste it, and we need more spice. We add it, yes.
Oh, okay.
So we need a taster.
Yeah.
Taste it. Fatima. And you can also make this in like a tabbouleh. So this is not quite a tabbouleh. This is more of a stir fry. How is it? So we good
So
with the
good.
spices.
No, but just add a little bit salt now.
So we can add some salt. How about if we were to add some of this fermented soy sauce? And this is the fermented. To show you, we use this because it's fermented, and since it's fermented, it's more natural and more healthy.
It doesn't have all the contaminants in it that the other soy has because of fermentation.
Just give it a little bit. Oh, and she's then she's gonna add the greens to it. Wow. This is great. These are you chopping almond, onions, parsley, coriander, basil in the yard. We'll get some later, that's okay.
Yeah, it comes.
So most
Yeah, we add this last.
we like greens. So whatever we have, we like to add our greens to it. At times we may add, if you like, you can add what is it? Potato leaves, potato, what is it? Butter cheese. But every once in a while, when we have salad as we have, then we can have less in here. So we try to keep a nice combination. Yeah, but it's practically all done.
Thank you, Dr. Joe.
Absolutely.
Hey, thank you.
Wow, that's good.
So is it done?
Yes, it's
Finished.
So it is. It's finished.
It's finished.
Wow.
Well done. Thank you.
Oh, wow, thank you guys. Wow, this is wonderful. Bye. Thank you. Yes. Looks good.
Hi, this is Dr. Gregory Joe Bledsoe, affectionately known as Dr. Joe, with my lovely wife.
I'm Naasira Ageela, known as Mama Naasira.
And we have a show for you, a special one. We have a guest, Julie of BlaXit. And Juliet is going to be talking to us about various things she's been doing here in the Gambia. She's from the UK, right?
She sure is.
Yeah, but before the show, we want you to make sure, take a minute and hit that button, which is your notification button, your
Like, and you can share.
and you can leave your comments. And please, from time to time, go back and check it. During these times, some of our subscriptions and notifications have not been connected. So you know how it is. We love you. You know what to do. Stay tuned and we'll be right back at you.
Thank you. Peace.
BlaXit family, BlaXit family, BlaXit family.
All right.
All right. So listen. Oh, sorry. If you're new to the channel, and you don't know who this lady is, I'm Juliet. My African name is Nyancho Kujabi.
Right.
And this is the BlaXit channel, and that's dedicated to your coming home. That's right. Leave the best for the West and come home.
All right.
Okay? And today we're going to be talking about the best food for your belly. We're going to be talking about the best food for your heart, your spirit, and your soul. So, when you come to Africa, one of the benefits of being here is some of the experts that you meet here. And let me tell you, I met this beautiful couple in London,
Wow.
in Tottenham, at an event.
4 years ago.
4 years ago. And
Exactly.
you know what? I was going to introduce them, but you know what? I actually think that I'm going to hand over the mic. I'm going to hand over the mic to you both, and I'm going to ask you both to please introduce yourself in traditional style to the BlaXit family for me. And I just want to say thank you for having me in your beautiful home and for welcoming us here and giving us some of your really healthy concoctions already. I feel better. So, you know, let's go. I mean, introduce yourselves. And
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you, BlaXit family. I'd like to thank all of your supporters for helping get this information out to the world. We have an incredible representative, and we are so blessed to have her in our Homestaurant. Now, my name is Dr. Gregory Joe Bledsoe, affectionately known as Dr. Joe. And my lovely wife here, Mama Naasira, Ageela, we're both from San Francisco, United States of America. And we've been in the Gambia for 4 years.
wow.
Now, we've written 3 books on health and nutrition. We have one, which is the bestseller, general public, #1 in the UK. And the other is #1 in Amazon. And this one is for people of color or melanated people.
Can we just take some pictures?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So everybody have a good look, have
And
a
this one
close-up
is
look.
and this one is the kitchen companion. I thought this was, because it's our original, we put the recipes here. And
Okay.
then after we retired, we decided to expand the information.
Okay, and the one that I bought in England was actually the yellow one.
Ah.
That's the one that I have there.
Which one?
Yeah, tasty, spicy.
Ah,
Spicy,
Spicy
tasty.
Vegan.
Yes. And it's
Ah.
really good. Anyone who wants to buy it, it's not just about food. But you know what? I'm not even going to discuss it because I'm not the expert here. I am not the expert here. But I tell you what I do love is food. Good,
Thank you.
healthy, spicy, tasty, vegan food. And I've had their spicy, tasty, vegan food. And it is absolutely delicious. If I had had the footage of the Kwanzaa, where you did the catering for, which was amazing, the food was so
We had a
delicious.
great time.
Yeah,
We had a great
unfortunately, I lost some SD cards and a hard drive, which had like interviews with Mustafa Taf. It had so many different events on it, everything, the Excellence Con, everything. And unfortunately, I lost them, so that's why I didn't have your interview. So I'm so glad that you welcomed me back to your home restaurant. Am I saying it
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Homestaurant.
Homestaurant. You know, my mentor used to be. Sorry. Oh, don't get upset with me. I'm sorry, Levi Roots. My mentor was Levi Roots, and he had restaurants, and he used to have a restaurant in Westfields, and so Homestaurant reminds me of. And I hope you're as successful as he is with his brands and his products as you are with yours.
We are a success because we're different from most. We're in business to go out of business. And we'll explain that later.
Ooh, this is getting exciting. So let's get back on track.
Okay, now I am a Hastings Law School graduate, a former teacher and educator for over 30 years. I've received the Steps for Peace Award, and I'm a producer and performer of positive lyrical music, mind-moving motivational music. And what can I say? I've been a plant-based for 20 years and a vegan for 28 years. And since we've been in the Gambia with my lovely wife, I can simply say that I have been pleased to know that I've been with what they consider the best vegan chef on the planet. And of course I concur, and that's my lovely wife, Mama Naasira, and she'll introduce herself.
Hi, I am so honored to be on BlaXit with this lovely, beautiful woman. Juliet, no, in that name, I'm gonna have to.
Nyancho. Nyancho.
Nyancho.
Mandina Kujabi.
Mandina Kujabi.
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 Yes, A, it's the accent.
And I will write it down so I can.
It's just because of the accent.
Mhm.
Because if I was American, I would say Kujabi.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
But no,
yeah.
we want the original accent
Right.
because we didn't learn all the sounds because we didn't use them in America.
It's true. It's true. And if I was to say, because in how it's supposed to be is Nyancho.
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 Mandina.
Mandina
Kujabi.
Kujabi.
Yeah.
Wow, it's
Okay.
beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you for
you.
giving us new accent pronunciation so that they can help us with other languages.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So go ahead. Tell us
Oh,
all
yes.
about you and
Okay,
you know,
and
and I want to go through a few
I
questions with you too. So
yes, I'm Naasira Ageela, known as Mama Naasira. Living in the Gambia 4 years. I'm originally from the USA in America. Born in San Francisco, California. My lovely husband is the reason I'm doing this because I got sick at the age of 19 with hepatitis B. I was a phlebotomist and I got stuck with this needle and the doctor said I was going to have to eat the way my mother raised me because I learned that I wasn't fed the way I was supposed to be fed for my body type. So I had to start from ground zero at the age of 19 in 1973. And I taught myself from my mother's food to learn how to eat healthier. And I reduced the meat and used more vitamins. I used more spices and herbs. And that also helped with my healing. And I just learned more and more how to take care of myself. I have 3 sons, lovely sons that are very healthy. I'm a mother, as well as I've been married 3 times, and this is the husband that has supported me 100%.
third time lucky.
Third time. And
That's right.
I have been a vegan for 18 years,
Wow.
and I have been working on healing for 30 years.
Wow.
I'm a vegan chef, health advocate, entrepreneur, trained over 35 intern vegan chefs in the Gambia. And not just Gambia, I've had Sierra Leone's, I've had Nigerians that I've trained US people from the USA. And it's just really been incredible that I'm meeting so many people in training. And I 47 years is I've had to stay on a strict diet to stay alive for 66 years, so I give thanks.
Oh wow, you look amazing.
Yeah.
You look
It's
amazing.
getting better.
I remember when Dr. Mumbi was here
Mm-hmm.
and she got sick, and also a good friend of mine, Khadija Ward, and she got sick. Do you remember?
Yes.
And
Yes,
they both came to you for healing.
that's right.
So I really want to ask you about, obviously about healing and the motivation towards how you're able to heal people and why you wrote these books.
Okay, it took us 27 months to write the books, and that was with no TV and no doorbell.
Mhm.
And our motivation behind it is that our people in America are dying. We have several sources of killing them. We have the water, and a lot of people are drinking water out of leaden pipes, and we know what that does to the brain. We have chemtrails, as they call it, or geoengineering, where they are dropping things down on them, like titanium, aluminum, and other things. It's falling down into the soil, and when it hits the soil is depleted, so it's not as strong as the Gambian soil, which is the best soil in the world. Also the food. About 50 years ago, I'd say between about 55 years ago, we started getting a real assault on us in terms of food. Where a lot of us came from the farm area, moved into the urban area, and started eating food that they said was good for us. And over time, we got more sugar, more salt, more fat, all of those things that the scientists knew. When we consume them, it goes into our endorphins in our pleasure center, and it makes us smile. That's why a lot of people eat the junk food, and all junk food has those three things in it: sugar, fat, and grease. Okay? We also wanted to address the type of food that we eat and to give information so that our people could live longer. That's why we wrote the book. Now, while we was writing the book, we started off, as my wife said, with the nutritional guide, which was our book, and then we started asking ourselves, what questions do our people need to know? And so before we knew it, we ended up with a melanated book, or a book for people of color. And that's because there are so many different physiological differences between melanated and those that are melanated recessive. So if you take a European, your bones would be 10 times denser, or hemoglobin level is going to be different. You have more selenium in your melanin cells, where they have more sulfur. That is why when they get wet, they give off that certain smell of odor. They also have more sulfur, in their body. So what we find is with the sulfur and with the other differences, like we have more veins, more extensive external system here, where we have more veins and arteries. Veins which allow, mixed with the melanin, our connection with our nerves, we're able to get messages to our brain a lot faster. It's called a muscle response. But if it's clogged up with the wrong kind of eating of the food, it is not going to happen. And what's really important is that Europeans have more worms or parasites to break down their food or metabolize it, where we don't have that. That's why it's very important that we eat food that supports our body and not someone else's. Okay?
Very important.
And also, I wanted to add that one of the main reasons I thought it was important for us to write the books, because for, may as well say, 47 years, I not only took care of myself, I took care of all of my friends throughout in my 20s, the children, and a lot of people would get sick, and it's because they were eating in different restaurants. I didn't eat in restaurants because of the grease and the oils. I had an opportunity to, when people had their children back in the 80s, a lot of the parents, they were having, challenges, especially on crack cocaine and different things like that. And because I had food every day for my children, I was feeding those children. So I have been so blessed, to be able to help so many people. In my 40s, after my children got older, I'd gone back to college, and I connected after my divorce from my children's father 18 years. Some of my friends in their 40s, they were having a lot of health issues. So I was working as a library technician. So I needed to make extra money because I bought a new car and I had to pay rent. So I prepared food to help my friends by making African stew, cornbread. I would make wild rice, quinoa, all the spices, and it would actually detox them. And just about anyone who eat this food, guess what? They all lose 10 pounds. Wow. And it's up to them to take it from there. That's all I'm supposed to do is introduce this. That's when my husband said we're going out of business. We're in business to go out of business because after we do what we're doing here, then it's time for us to do something else.
Now, I'd like to interject that, our belief, the reason why we're doing this is because we believe in America, with all the suffering that's going on, the only way we're really truly going to help to alleviate that is to strengthen Africa. Because here you have the resources. Here you have the people that have the strength. It's amazing, and I'm not ashamed to say it. But shoot, some of our workers that are here, our trainees, they're a lot stronger than I am.
Oh!
And you have the genius. The only challenge we find is that you've been eating the wrong type of food that does not support your body and your brain. So we also believe that when you eat better, you're going to think better. And when you think better, you're going to make better life choices. Those choices are going to reflect upon your family, your community, your tribe, your nation, and ultimately the world. And we would also like for you to know that the reason we wrote these books is that no matter what your color is, whether you're melanin recessive or melanin dominant, if you follow the book, follow it and change your lifestyle, you're going to open up your pineal gland, which is going to allow you to feel more and be human. And since we've got to live on this planet together, I see this as a wonderful vehicle for making that happen.
So how would one go about purchasing a book or accessing these books? Like I met you face to face, and I purchased the book face to face. So how would
we also have them here at our home for sale, and then also can be purchased in 10 Book 2 here in the Gambia, as well as you can go on Amazon. Usually the folks in the UK and America, it's a lot easier for them to go on to Amazon.
Yeah, I can still go on Amazon from here.
Yes.
I got PayPal, so
Yes,
I
you
just-
can do that,
yeah.
or you can the ebooks. You can also download them on a tablet.
And in America,
Kindle.
you can
Yeah.
order the book at any bookstore.
Excellent.
Yes, and that's why in any city or country we live, we can also bring them to that store,
Yeah.
bookstore.
Well, this is good because BlaXit family is worldwide. I mean, literally worldwide.
Yes.
Sometimes I hear from people and they're in like West Papua,
Wow.
and yeah, West Papua. Suppose I'm a free West Papua, campaigner, 100%.
I don't know where that is.
It's wow, it's
Sound a little
like
ignorant.
250 kilometers off the north coast of Australia.
Ah.
Ah.
It's not far from Papua New Guinea because they were annexed,
Mm.
illegally as usual when it comes to invasion and of course the usual colonization. And that's what's going on in West Papua right now, is the people are fighting, for their independence, for their right to self-determination in West Papua, and the food there is amazing. Also, just to connect
They
it
have
in.
good food there.
Yeah, because they left West Africa 75,000 years ago, and they have retained.
Their
And
ancestors' food.
That's right.
Kept the
So
culture.
important.
And right now the problem is that they've now been invaded and taken over by the Indonesians, and they're going through genocide.
Wow.
And I got to shout out to Benny Wenda, Chief Benny Wenda, and to the United Liberation Movement for the Freedom of West Papua, 100%. To connect this back to where we're going from, is that if those people did not have that nature diet, they wouldn't be fighting where they're fighting now. Because you know what he told me, and it's always kept with me. I asked Benny about his life in West Papua. I'm going slightly off of course, but it's to bring us back on course. And he told me, I said to him, so what's your main concern? And he said to me, the jungle is our supermarket.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, that we don't have supermarkets, we have gardens.
Yes, exactly. That's the way.
And if you destroy our jungles, you destroy our forests, you destroy our gardens,
Yeah.
Destroy your way of life.
you destroy your way of life, because many of the companies that went out there to go and mine for gold, Freeport Moran, an American company chopped off mountains. And people were saying, well, why didn't you go and, you know, get these resources? They said, we can't eat gold.
Oh.
We cannot eat gold. And this is the thing. You see? It reminds me of that film, Avatar.
Oh,
When
yes.
they went there, you understand?
That's
and
right.
broke the whole
We've seen that
ecosystem.
again. It's
And that's why it's important for us to be here in Africa with the abundant soil,
that's
with
right.
the ability to farm and to have agriculture lands, because food has to be at the absolute center of our existence.
Right, right.
Very important.
Yeah, and you know, that's why, you know, with the young people, we really appreciate training them, because if I don't train and share this, it's going to come a day that I won't be able to prepare the food myself, this type of food, because it takes hours. And young people, they're strong enough, and if they can put the food out there, people will buy it. They may not buy it right now here in the Gambia because it's still new. We're still introducing this. We're still coming from colonization, when we've been eating colonizers' food. But now we can, those of us who got sick, what makes us change is our illnesses. If I've never gotten sick, I will still be eating my French fries, hamburgers, and all of that because it's quick. I was able to get to classroom, go to work. It was fine. But it was, unfortunately, it wasn't what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to have gotten this sickness and to heal myself and to help others that are getting sick at 40 and 50. I don't understand, maybe because of the longevity. You know, because of our background, we probably, like my mom did nurse me. So since I was a nurse, I have more illnesses and allergies. And that's why I have to do this on a daily basis, just to make sure I'm putting in something that my body wasn't required and didn't get during the times of
So
nursing.
is it important to breastfeed? I know it
Very
is.
important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very important.
Why is it so important? Because I see a lot of mothers now just giving children formula.
Yeah, see.
And so what's the importance of breastfeeding? Because it's very African and traditional to breastfeed, and here it's very natural to see a woman take out her breast in the middle of the market or anywhere
In a
and feed their
classroom,
child.
teaching.
And I love that. I absolutely love it because it just seems so absolutely natural. It's not like there's no kind of, like in England, and I think, I'm not too sure about America because I've only been there a few times and I lived there for a short time, but there doesn't seem to be any taboo around natural breastfeeding, naturally nurturing your children here, naturally loving your children here, having a child-centered environment here, which is much different to the West.
Yes, we've been indoctrinated a little differently. And in terms of indoctrination, there are a number of folks that are coming here from America. And just because they were able to, as some say, escape, it does not mean that they left behind their spiritual and their mental trauma. And one of the things we were talking to you about before is healing that needs to take place. And one of the steps in doing that is changing your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Well, nursing is very important because those first 6 weeks, the colostrum that's in the breast is what's required for us to have that first nourishment. You know, like hemp milk is important. Breast milk. All these different milks are very important. And after they said, if you just give them the 6 weeks, then they're able to sustain whatever requirements to help with the organs, the brains, and so forth. And then if you can go as what I did with my second and third son, I nursed them until they were 2 years old.
Wow.
And they were strong. Not all the time. I nursed them after maybe 6 or 7 or 8 months. In the mornings, during the night, and also evenings when I returned from work. And it worked just as well because they didn't ever really have to take the cow's milk. And the middle child, he would refuse. So I couldn't really leave him with anyone because I had to be available for him, which was good.
So what we're going to do is we're going to skip to the questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to keep it short and snappy now,
Yes.
and very direct and to the point. Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me about, everybody's got their core values. Some people might call it beliefs. Some people might call it knowledge system. Some people, might call it their way of life. What is yours? What is your structure and way of thinking?
Mm-hmm. Well, in terms of my beliefs, I believe that we all are one, that we're enabled by the Most High Creator, and there's not a spot that's outside of this. We're all expressions of the common good God Most High, and we play different parts. And that is why I encourage people that even though we're in a situation now where it's being brought out that there are some folks that, more of a reptilian nature that are doing what they are doing, we're still one. And if we send love out to them, we help to raise their vibration so they can't do some of the things they used to do. That's my core belief. And my core belief is for everyone, not just here on planet Earth, but the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess my belief system, I was thinking of the fact that I've had a lot of experience this life. I left home at the age of 17 because I finished high school early, and I was the oldest of 6 children, and my mother knew I wouldn't want any more children because I was the oldest of 6 children and had to take care of the last 3. So I had enough. So my experience was to learn and educate myself. I lived in different communities, Islamic communities, Christian communities. I also practiced one time Buddhism, spirituality, science of mind. I just feel that in this life it's important to learn as much as possible. I worked in different job professions. I was a medical lab tech at the age of 18, medical assistant. And from there, I decided to go into insurance. So I did insurance while raising the children, going back and forth to college, taking classes. I moved in different areas. I went to Alaska, and before I gone to Alaska, I ended up getting a position in the library as a library assistant, gone from library tech. I went back to college, and it was, to me, all of this knowledge and then having to have a good way of eating and learning about my wok. I purchased a wok, and with that wok, I was able to reduce the meats and make small portions of meat and then add a bunch of vegetables to it, which always kept me able to cleanse and detox and clean the colon. So this is what I'm doing now, is teaching the young people my experience so that they can take their experiences and expand it, especially here in the Gambia.
Excellent. That moves me on to my next question, which is, while you've been here what brought you to the Gambia in the first place? I love Gambia. I've been coming here since 2011. But what brought you here specifically to the Gambia, and what have you been doing since you've been here?
When we met you in the UK, we were going on our world tour. That was the start of it. And our plans were to go to the UK. We were there for 6 months or more until we got cold. Then from there we were going to go to East Africa, but things didn't quite work out with our contacts. And Naasira had a friend in Alaska, a Gambian, who she'd known for years. And Shakina was in the UK at the time, and she told us about the Gambia. And the flights were very inexpensive. So we said, well, let's go ahead and give that a try. And so that's how we ended up in the Gambia as a spot that we're going to branch off and go to the rest of Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with the friend is the Borge family. They're related to Khalifa Saleh.
Khalifa.
Yeah.
Saleh.
So
I love that man.
And because
I got so
the
much respect for that
family,
man.
we were able to.
That's the Honourable Khalifa Saleh.
Yes, the
Yeah.
honourable.
He has been on BlaXit, I think 2 times or 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's an amazing man, and I really hope that he plays a major role in the future of the Gambia.
Leaders.
Yeah, that would be excellent.
I do.
That would be totally
I
excellent.
wholeheartedly agree with you.
Yeah.
He's a genius of the man.
Oh yeah, the three
Yeah.
people, men that I've met recently,
Mhm.
Essa Fala,
Mhm.
Okay.
Honourable Khalifa Saleh,
Mm-hmm.
and Professor Pielo Lumumba, that I've had the opportunity of speaking to recently.
Mhm.
And those three men, I'm just going to say men for now, because I met many influential women like Dr. Susan Tate and so on, and that really kind of influenced me and educated me in a sense. But yeah, the more involvement of those people in our lives, it'll be the better our lives will be.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, in our book, we point out too that no soy, non-gluten. Chapter 5 is most men are slow. And when we talk about relationships, we talk about the intruders, the invaders that have more or less kind of butchered our culture and kind of taken away a lot of information that we would have had. Now, in time immemorial, it was understood the position that the woman was in, but over time it changed. So in our book, we point out that it takes about 50 years for the average man to begin to mature. I didn't say start, yeah, just begin. So that is one of the reasons why we men have a lot of challenges. Because if it takes us 50 years, in 50 years, there are a lot of things we could have maybe done better, but we couldn't listen because our consciousness wasn't there. And also, in terms of just the science of it all, there are more male babies that die than female babies. Why? Because when you come in as a female, you have a more efficient immune system. If you were to line up the numbers, men have more heart attacks, more strokes, more gout, baldness, that goes on and on. Women have their lung capacity is greater than ours. In situations like in the Andes Mountains, where they're up high at certain altitudes, the men cannot carry the heavy loads, the women. And if you look in terms of size and proportion, the female brain is 1/4 heavier than a male brain.
Wow.
And we're talking about the cerebrum, the nerve endings there that help them to be, I'm watching my fingers now, language acquisition, pain management, intuition, future planning, all of those, the edge is overwhelmingly for the female. Now, we men might be able to carry something heavy for a short period of time, relatively, when we say heavy, but if there's any superiority, that's where it begins and ends. So what we are doing is bringing back the information to help with our male-female relationships that has been butchered and cast asunder by those intruders and invaders. And once we get that relationship better, hey.
Well, that's good. I like that. I like that a lot. So for now, I mean, I'm going to go to the herbs and I'm going to talk about the medicines. And even when we got pneumonia, we called you and you made us one of your, healing concoctions. And it was really good. That's a healing concoction. And if anyone's here, they should definitely come to Kololi. And this is really easy to find.
And actually,
it's off the new road.
And I give the people the recipes because when people start to come, it's a lot. Because I have to freeze the skin of the pineapples. I freeze the skin of also papayas, the mangoes, the soursop. And we eat those practically every day, as we have here, the soursop. When you boil all that with all these different herbs, oranges, lime, ginger and garlic, I just put it all together.
Okay, well guide us a bit through this, because the next question is like what you're doing now. And obviously that's one of the things you're doing now is healing a nation. So tell us about, your healing of the nation and what you're doing now, and what your future plans are.
Yeah, well, I'll just make this briefly. My thing is when I heal myself, then I know it works and I'm able to share it with everyone else. When I came to the Gambia 2 years ago, I got really sick myself. and it was because of the way of living in the West is totally different than you live here because of the sun, the insects, and the stress in many ways. So when I got sick and I started taking Kundalini yoga and doing these breath of fires, I think all the inflammation from those, vaccines and the allergy medicine. So I started making I take all these super powders every morning. When you say you have your concoction, I think everybody should have something.
Yeah.
And I use spirulina, chlorella. MSM is good for my joints and bones because I'm a Capricorn.
Really? And I
And that's
can't,
what
you know,
my
I can't
challenge-
take MSM.
You cannot.
No,
Yeah,
I've got no tolerance for it whatsoever. It
yeah,
makes
it's
me
not.
actually-
It really cleans into the joints and bones, and you may not require this.
Yeah.
But for me,
It's one of those things I just have got no tolerance for.
And,
Even in, like, when I tried it in England, the first time I knew about it was Chinese food. Because I never had it before. Because it's also used as a meat tenderizer.
oh, really?
And yeah, and so when my mum introduced it as a meat tenderizer in the house, you know, because we only used to really eat meat, you know, on Sundays, you know, when I
Oh
said
yeah,
meat,
the Sunday
rice and peas and everything.
Mhm.
And so when she introduced that, and then I was feeling ill and I didn't know why. So that was it. So, you know, I mean, everything else there is
Yeah, the
good.
turmeric, the baobab, moringa, the neem,
Oh, fantastic.
and bladderwhack or
Yeah.
sea moss. So
I'm saying
think
I love
this-
everything,
And
just
you don't-
not that.
And you don't have to have, everything. You just use at least 4 or 5 of them, and I put it in.
Do you have
mix it with
ginger
my
in there?
concoction. It's all in here.
I
So I
love
mix them
ginger.
together.
Mhm.
And then in the mornings when I drink this in water and I do my exercise, that means I'm getting all the fluids so that I can make sure I urinate enough where I'm good. If I go out for several hours, I can just sip on the water because water is very, very important.
Absolutely.
It's so important that, especially with the sun, now that I've gotten the concoction of just living here in the Gambia, I'm good. So now I'm sharing this with everyone here and friends who've had malaria quite a bit. And they would sit on the sofa and I would go in the kitchen and make this drink, give it to them, and 3 or 4 days later, they send me a message, a lovely message, how it really helped.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm doing.
Touch wood somewhere. I had malaria in Jamaica, like after Hurricane Gilbert. But since I come into Africa, I've never had it. But I think partly is that because I drink and I eat moringa, and I eat the moringa seeds. I drink
Yes.
the fresh leaves off of the tree, and I
Mhm.
drink it every day
See?
with some neem and some fever grass.
Right.
Yeah, it's real good. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I totally
And
like.
you could do this, you know what you do? You can do it all the time.
Yeah.
Even when, nothing is wrong. Because when the seasons change, if you already have this in your body, it's going to help you get through the season.
Oh, totally. I mean, I swear by, like I said, your citrus healing concoction.
Yeah.
You know, it really works because I was literally drinking it like every single day, and that's why I'm here. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because when you know that your food can be your medicine and your medicine can be your food, and that's why I encourage everybody to come back and get involved in, especially agriculture. And in
Yes.
fact, one of my next interviews after this is with an an agricultural expert who actually has a contract with us,
Oh, okay.
and so he's doing me a herb garden.
Wow.
So yeah,
I know you mentioned that.
yeah, I love
That
my
is
herbs.
So fantastic.
Live by your herbs, and your
And
herbs
you
will
from
live by
Jamaica?
you.
Is
Of
that right?
course.
See, you are
Well,
so
I'm
fortunate.
originally, what it is, my parents were born in Jamaica,
Okay.
but I was heavily influenced by my mom, my dad. My dad was
Okay.
very big into gardening, so we used to eat everything out of the garden. And of course, coming from Jamaica, my mum, she came from a farm with my grandma, Ivy Griffiths, you know, and then so we had that. And then on the other side, I have my nan, Jemima Ricketts.
Wow.
And so they very much with that. My nan on my dad's side used to make the best cornbread and greens with green beans.
Black American.
Oh
food.
my goodness. Well,
That's
no,
the way
this
we
is
grew up.
also No, but what I'm trying to show you is that this is also, you know, African food because
is.
you get cornbread here too.
Mm-hmm.
So this is us returning to our origins.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, we are in our original place.
That's right.
Yes, we
This
are.
is our element.
This
Yes.
is exactly it. So it's just like the return of coming back home.
It is.
And so that's why I'm saying that one of the things that we learned being outside is a whole leap of different variety of different things. And if we can bring them back and grow them here, like I got some ackee seeds recently, thank you Patrick. Yeah, I got some guinea seeds, and also like giant avocados from Jamaica. And I got some, you know, he bought them all for me, some gungo peas, seeds and stuff. And so all those seeds come in, and this is what we're going to grow. We have like a huge eco project in Busura, and we even had like development plots, which were going for like 20,000 dalasi for a 20 by 20 plot. You know, for people that wanted to develop and wanted to do, you know, eco and gardening and agricultural and things that were going to help the local community in Busura. And after those left, then we were just left with the residential plots, and they're still 45,000. And the whole idea behind it is that we keep the trees, and what you have to cut, you have to resap, and the whole outside is going to be a living fence of every fruit tree and everything going. And listen, as soon as I saw that, I said, I'm buying, I got that. And so I bought my like 2 plots, you know, because I want to develop like a round eco house there and build an eco house there. So and so some people are interested and they want, you know, me to build them for them. So I said, I'm not the builder, Adrian is, but I'm full of the eco ideas. So I can make it eco.
Oh, that's right. So that means we, like people like ourselves, we can purchase from it.
Yeah, of course,
Yes.
of course.
'Cause
The land was given to us by the family, by the Kujabi and the Sese family. So you would then get taken in by the family, and you also learn, you know, parts of their culture, which is really, really important. So it's a cultural exchange, which is what we came here for, because this is what we've been devoid of.
That's right. Exactly.
And also for you to give them a culture exchange with things that, you know, you might say, look, you're doing this is great, but I can show you things that can be even more healthy for
That's
you.
right. Oh,
So
my goodness.
it can be a great exchange. So it's open for everybody. There are, you know, our local brothers and sisters from Gambia are there, you know, bringing their projects there. There are many of us, you know, who are African descendants. We're there. And, you know, there are like probably about 100 plots left.
Wow.
It's 550 by 330, and most people have got big plots.
Wow.
So yeah, it's definite. I mean, I'm here to help people return home and to make it as palatable and as economical and as easygoing, and the happiness comes naturally.
It does.
So
It
the
does.
happiness comes naturally for all of us. So
That's right.
you know, but just to help to meander through the changes. But the healing is where it's at, and that's why I'm here.
That's right.
That's
Thank
why
you.
I'm here. The healing is
I
where
sit
it's
right
at.
there. Well, I just wanted to point out the concoction and the history of it, because it's been deemed as the herbal cure to the coronavirus.
Ooh, give me a glass. I want another glass.
The history behind it is, as Mama said when she got sick here,
Can I have a look?
what she did is she used 3 of her recipes, 3 of her recipes in the book. She combined them with the local herbs that are here in the Gambia. And we were talking before about the neem, the baobab, and a lot of other things. And she does have 3 videos on how to put it together. So there is a brother here that we met. He's an herbalist, Salihipui. And he was in Nigeria, Lagos, where there was a meeting of WAHU, which is the West African Health Organization. And it's an organization where you have medical doctors, traditional healers, and herbalists. And they were agreeing to give out support to anything that would help the health and the welfare of the people. So we sent them the concoction, the videos, how to put it together, and a few weeks later we had the Corona event. And after the Corona event, it wasn't too much longer than that, Well, we heard of doctors from Nigeria that had the herbal cure. And it was kind of like what Mama did. And then the president of Madagascar, he also used that, but just adding some more of the local herbs. And he was able to give it out to all of his people free of charge, and boom, open his country up. So with our attorney, our U.S. attorney, he called us up, and I love the brother. He said, "You guys helping everybody in Africa, what about us in the United States?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, well, we need help too. I said, "Well, look, we don't know how to best do that. Do you have some people we can send this information to?" So he gave us the information of our representatives in Northern California. But unfortunately, it was during this coronavirus thing, and that doesn't necessarily mean that people are in their offices and get their messages. So when we had not heard from anyone in 3 weeks, we just sent it out to the world.
Look, right here. Just want to show you. So it's on my phone, and what we can do is put it on the screen, so you can heal the world.
Yes.
How's that?
This is perfect.
Yeah. We have
And
I think
people
we
can
have about
add
3
whatever
million
they want
views.
to it as well. If you have something special that you want to add, like someone gave me a blue violet or some kind of
Yeah,
herb,
Troy.
I have that up there drying out.
Yeah,
right
Troy.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's gone back. He got a
Wow.
little sick, but he's gone back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, you know what it is? When your body comes here, you detox.
You have to detox.
You have to detox.
Mhm.
And so when people come here, they can obviously get detox. They can
Right.
come here, they can pre-book with you.
Yeah, that's
They
all we
can
need.
stay with you.
Mhm.
They can, go through a whole kind of little retreat with you.
They can.
And also, sorry to be rude, everyone, but you're going to need the loo. Yeah? The loo, for my brothers and sisters there in the US, I mean your bathroom. Yeah? Or
Yeah.
your toilets.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
you do have
because
to clean out.
Part of that is like the detox out of your system. I did a
Or
detox.
sweating.
Yeah, it was
urinating.
both.
Through your
Oh.
breath.
I had all three.
Yes.
I had all three.
And don't freak out because it's normal.
And don't freak out if you see worms.
My brother is calling me, my Kujabi brother, as we were just talking
Oh
about
my
Busra.
goodness, spiritual
I will call
connection.
him back. You see that? And we were just talking about healing and going through, this he can make their own versions, add or
Yes.
take away.
It's important.
Because I know that they were using what we called mudwalk. No, not mudwalk.
That's another herb.
Yeah,
I'm familiar.
that was
I know
added to it.
Yeah, you can
That's
do
what
that.
they used in Madagascar.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and you used to boil it to have tea before you go to sleep,
You
to have
see?
what they called lucid dreams.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I get the right name. I'm sure it's called mudwalk.
Mudwalk, yeah, I
Yeah.
know what it is.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, you can,
And
it's a
the
great
thing of it
healing
is,
herb.
you don't have to just use what I'm using. Because we all have our ancestors' way. And we just bring all these things back to our own selves and our own family. And it will work.
So now that you've created the antidote to coronavirus, and I'm going to share because I think it's important that we do this.
That's right.
Because I didn't actually get tested. I'm not going to lie. I didn't get tested when we went to the doctors because we had to have an X-ray, a chest X-ray, and that's how we found out that we had pneumonia. And of course, as you know, one of the symptoms is pneumonia. Plus, we had other symptoms, and these are all the symptoms that were listed, but we didn't get tested. When we went to the testing place, by the time we got out of the hospital, it was too late. And the next day, I said, I'm in my bed. And so that's when like I said, we had the concoction, and that is what helped us.
Wow.
So to overcome the pneumonia and all of the other symptoms.
Wow.
So I can be a testimonial.
Yes, I
Yeah.
appreciate,
We appreciate that.
Yeah, I can be a testimonial for you that, Your herbal concoction, your healing concoction, as I call it, you know, helped us a lot. So I'm going to put it on the screen. I want everybody to try it because it's not just for when you're sick, but it's to maintain good health. And even if you're not a vegan, and I know people struggle with being a vegan because I was a vegan. I was a vegan for 7 years in England. Yeah, in England for 7 years. And I went to Jamaica, and while I was there, the story ends. The story ended there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In Jamaica. Okay.
The food, yeah, the smells, the aroma, and I came to Africa also, and I was good for like one visit, but the second visit, I was on a super kandra, and I really love super kandra a lot, and so because I didn't realize at first that super kandra had different things in it because it's okra and moringa leaf and sweet potato leaf and cassava leaf, and they chop it up and they cook it. I mean, it's like cheddar boom. Cheddar boom is so good. I love cheddar boom.
So
and it's cooked with coconut.
Yes.
Coconut and greens and chili.
Wow.
Good vegan food you can get here, but unless you know the traditional foods, you don't know how to cook it and you don't know how to get it. So vegans can eat well here, but it's good for them to come and learn here.
Yeah.
I think that's what's so important,
And
is
then
coming
the
here and learning,
help.
because you can also point people to where they can get the food, where they can get the ingredients. So you're like a one-stop shop
we
for
were at
everything.
Health food store, and I'll show you our little store. that
Yeah,
we
we'll have a look around. We'll get the
Yeah.
cameraman, and if you wouldn't mind, you be the guide
Yes.
and show him everything and where to get it.
Yes.
Because it's important that people can come here and get the advice from you. So
Yes.
you're like, you know, the healthy place to go in the Gambia.
But we need our own airplanes.
Yeah, we need it.
We need
we could
the
use a number of
ships,
things.
because that way we don't have to pay as much to, you know, the purchasing, you know, and then they have to deliver it here.
You know we
It's-
have
it
this
can-
though. You know we already have this.
What?
Not that we need, we have.
Well, we
There
have-
are people who own fleets of ships
That's what
that
I'm
are
looking at.
African.
That's right. I
They
know
are
that.
right here.
Yeah,
So you hear the call.
Yes, we
Yeah.
need to
We
know
have
them.
Africans that have fleets of aeroplanes
That's-
that are in Africa.
You see there?
Even here in Gambia.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like this running out of body. Let's try.
Okay. So let's quickly let's go to question. Talk about the workshops
Okay.
and talk about. You've only got a couple things left.
What
Yeah.
we've done here.
Yeah, what you've done and the rest. So let's go straight to it. So quickly.
What have you done since we've been in the Gambia?
Yes.
Okay. We've been in the Gambia 4 years, and the first year or so was us just observing. And what jumped out to us was a number of people were having challenges with their diet, what they were eating. We're looking at the white sugar, the white salt. Here they have the Jimbo and the Maggi, and an assortment of other things that are very high in monosodium glutamate.
Yeah, that's why I can't eat them.
Yes, and what we did, Mama, is started training people to be vegan chefs. We started going to the different hotels like GTHI, Fajara, Skills Center, and a number of others. We started recruiting students to teach them vegan and plant-based, and let them know what the things they have here in the Gambia that are readily available to improve their health. We have a non-profit organization. We call it a 501(c) out of the United States. We have an NGO here in the Gambia. We have had workshops throughout the Gambia.
What are they
going
called?
to the
Sorry, so
schools.
people can know when they come here.
What is that?
Well, your NGO here, what's it called?
Healthy Ways Foundation Gambia. And in the United States, it's Healthy Ways Foundation. We have been basically coming out of our pocket and financing all of this and helping everyone. Because in the United States, if you have a nonprofit organization, in most places you can't get it hooked up to the bank for 2 years because, you know, some people ain't so nice in terms of fraud and stuff. So we've been waiting almost 4 years, and we have not been able to hook it up because they want a personal appearance, and as you know right now during this time.
And because of the COVID, we were supposed to go in July, and we had booked this in February. So the COVID had gone so long, we weren't able to leave. And it's been unfortunate because we had our attorney to try to help us over there in the States, but it didn't happen. So we're gonna go with the GoFundMe.
Yes.
Yeah, and anything similar to that, that's what we'll do. We tried to put our brakes on it because we wanted to have it smooth, so hey, we got bank here for the nonprofit, but now we'll just have to do it that way.
And one other thing too,
So-
we have one person that's interested in wanting us to partnership with them with their land.
Yes.
And they said, all we need to pay them is 1,000 American dollars. So we decided we're not gonna necessarily come out of our pockets. We're gonna do the GoFundMe
Yes.
to see if we can get people to assist us.
Yes.
And then we can have a health food store there,
A
a restaurant
restaurant,
there,
Yes.
the garden. And this governor, former governor, he has a lot of land.
Yes.
So we're just taking our time. We want land, we want everything, but because, you know, we're getting close to 70, we want to make sure that we're doing it the right way. And since we've been watching you, Miss
Nyancho.
Yes, sister, we've been watching you, and we really feel confident. If we may be interested in moving soon, we'll be talking to you about that.
Oh no, most definitely. I've got a really good land agent. So I've got a great team. I've got to say, sorry, let me rephrase that. We have a great team.
Oh, good.
Right, so let's talk about your team
Okay.
and let's round up because yeah, I just really want
Now,
to
we do
people
have,
to know about.
we will have enough room there to put a school. And our son, Dr. Umar Johnson, contacted us because he wants to have a school.
And you know, I interviewed him, you know, honestly, yeah, I really did. And I really feel for him because he's trying so hard, but he's hitting so many barriers because, you know, we know that they don't want us to succeed.
Nope.
And sometimes even our own people don't want us to succeed and will throw anything in our way
That's
to
right.
prevent us from achieving what we want to achieve.
That's-
I had the same thing, you know, even with BlaXit and trying to help people to repatriate. I have my own people, you know, and I like to stay on a positive. So let's just say that our own people can be really supportive and let's keep it supportive.
Absolutely.
Because if we do, we'll all succeed.
That's right.
If we keep it good, we'll all succeed.
Exactly.
So yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, so I know it will go hand in hand. With the school, you have the students, and the students can work in the restaurant, work in the health food store, and of course, that's another skill. Now, we also are expanding because our books has been translated into French, and in a few weeks, we're gonna have it translated into Portuguese. That's because my wife and I have been on the Voice of ECOWAS, and we are planning on doing workshops throughout all of the 15 ECOWAS nations.
Excellent. That is so good. That is so good. I've been recently working on a project. It's a secret project, but it won't be by the time this comes out with Al Jazeera. And so, you know, I know the team there, and I will talk to them about what you're trying to do because it sounds so exciting, and I'm hoping that maybe they'll get in contact and give your platform more exposure to.
Thank you.
So it's not just, you know, going with us, but it's that's how we got to share.
Yes.
Each one teach one,
Right.
and that's how we've got to be. Because if not, you know, we're going to lose this knowledge.
That's right.
Well,
And that's why I'm so glad you put it in books. So tell us about your YouTube channel.
Well,
Tell
one
us
thing
about
I
how
also
everybody
wanted-
can hear about you.
Remember when we spoke, I had mentioned that some people are really challenged with the cost of the food. And when we first started, 4 years ago, the food was costing us $1,500, pretty much for 2 or 3 days. And then the following year, it went to 25, and then it's just started increasing. We were 600, and then we decided to go to 800 just a few weeks ago. And someone asked me,
Dollars or dollars?
Dollars.
excuse me, dollars.
Listen, everybody, she
Dollars.
means the lassies.
The lassies.
I can see people going, how much?
Well,
And
Just so
what I-
clarity,
yeah.
if you're looking at $800, that's about
Yeah,
15 US dollars.
Exactly.
Or about 1350 pounds. Yeah,
Yeah.
something like
So, and when I had mentioned to a person, I said, so last year, when I purchased a real vegan cuisine in Manchester restaurant called The Allotment, they were using our book. And we paid at least 50 pounds for our food, and then to add more, it was another 20 pounds. That's real vegan food, because it costs
Well,
us.
healthier food costs more. I mean,
Exactly.
organic food costs more.
And it's organic.
I was born in the UK, lived in the UK,
See?
on and off because I lived in different places. But for 47 years of my life, until I retired and I came here afterwards. But the thing is that I know for sure that if you don't want to eat GMO,
Exactly.
you need to pay more.
You have
I used to have my food delivered to my house. Do you remember when we were talking on the phone?
Yes.
When we were in England, and I was telling you that I had my food delivered to my house from an organic farm because I refused to eat the food that they were offering me, because when you pick a tomato from my garden and I put it on the table, I could smell that tomato when I entered the room, and a sweet pepper, when I grew it, I could smell it.
That's right.
It's pungent, but when you buy it from the supermarket, there's no odor.
No.
Here, the oranges are green,
Yeah.
the bananas are sweet, are green.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying, hang on a minute, what's going on?
Genetic
And
manipulation.
there are seeds in the banana. There are, loads of seeds in my grapefruits and
That's
my oranges
right.
and everything here. All I've got to say is coming to Africa is a healthier lifestyle. But I think that before everyone should come here and spend a week or so, they should come visit you first
Yes.
and have a detox.
Yes,
I think that would be a great
really
idea.
good. But some people don't want that detox. And they may come later, but it's okay.
It's okay. Well, what I wanted to say, you were talking about the expense of being organic. Just want you to think about one thing.
The medicine.
If you get sick, what's your medical bill going to be like? And this, by doing this, you can avoid that. And for most people that I know, their medical bills are very expensive.
That's right.
So you have to weigh those two. And one, you're getting healthier and you're going to feel better. And one of the other things that jumps out at us, when you feel better, then you're going to have more inspiration to do things. And that might be to create something, to do something that's going to bring in the revenue or profit that you need to support your lifestyle. But if you're eating the wrong food and you're sick, you aren't hardly going to get the inspiration to do that.
Exactly. And I mean, healthcare in America is so expensive.
Very expensive.
I mean, here it's much cheaper, I must confess.
Yes.
It's such a relief coming here, because I remember in England we waited 2 weeks for a blood test,
Yes.
and here it's 10 minutes and you got the results, and it's like,
Wow.
so why was I waiting 2 weeks? Because
That's right.
and I'm paying for it because I'm still paying my national insurance.
You see, that's what we
You
have
see
to
what I'm
do.
saying?
And this,
And you
we
know
don't
what
even
it's like.
use
We don't
our-
use ours.
Exactly, but you were
Decade.
still
You have
paying
to
for
pay
it.
it.
And that's why I say Pay As You Go Africa works better.
Yes, it is.
True.
You see? And the money that you were using then, you can use now,
That's
instead to buy better things for your health. But give us a guide around, because I don't want to lose the camera time.
Yes.
Okay.
And so give us a guide around, and
Okay.
we'll close up by you telling us all about how people can get hold of you,
Good.
how they can follow you on YouTube, and also how they can get to purchase all these goodies, how they can come and stay with you and book a holiday, or at least come for a 2-day detox.
Yes.
And come and have some food. And if you're vegan and you're coming to Africa, you cannot get better vegan food than coming to Mama Naasira's and Dr. Joe's. So, and I had their food and I know it's good. Yeah.
And we've kept the prices down pretty low here too.
So they've kept the
Yes.
food prices
Yes,
very
yeah.
reasonable. So at least you can get a good meal for less than 10, 15 pounds. You can't beat that.
No, you can't.
You can't beat that.
No.
And it's not going to be the same as local food
No.
because it's prepared different, the ingredients are different,
That's
and
right.
not only that, you have to export things.
Mhm.
And exporting
That's
is
right.
not cheap.
No, it's
Shipping is not cheap.
Mhm.
Not only that, the preparation is different, the
Mhm.
time is different, and you have to be getting those fresh ingredients
That's
constantly. So I understand the process. Like I said,
Yeah.
I
You
was
know,
vegan.
You sound like
Yeah,
you know what you're
I was
talking about.
vegan,
Mhm.
and you know, one day I'll return after I can overcome my addiction, because I know I have an addiction. I
Sure.
have an addiction to anything that I fancy.
But aren't you an Aries?
Aries?
Yes.
Aries?
Well.
We know that about our family and my mama.
Yeah, anything I fancy.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Our mothers
Anything
are
I
born on the
fancy.
same day in April
April
6th.
6th.
Oh
Both of
wow,
our
just
mothers.
after me. Oh wow,
Wow,
yeah.
you're April.
I'm March,
Oh,
last day of
wow.
March,
Oh.
so a week after me.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so we
amazing.
Aries.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
hope you guys got a shot of the soursop, because soursop here, it stops the formation of cancer cells. The turmeric is going to reduce the inflammation in your body. When you reduce inflammation, you reduce pain. We have the baba and all of those things. The information is in the book. But these things are wonderful.
And you could take these and have it every morning.
And you can make a great tea
And you can make
every
a-
night.
Right. You
Have
could
that with
use
some
these things
cardamom,
too. Yeah.
Put some
Is-
cloves,
see?
some bay
There you
leaves,
go.
See, look at
some
your
fennel
concoction.
seeds.
That's right.
Listen,
And your
it's
skin is
beautiful.
beautiful, by the way,
Absolutely.
too.
thank you. It is,
Absolutely.
but you
Very
drink the turmeric.
That's
See,
right.
I swear down, it works.
It does.
And you can even add coconut
Mhm.
to it,
Yeah,
and it
you
makes
can.
it creamy and nice, and you can eat.
Mhm.
Oh,
I put
it
it in
is
my
so
smoothies.
good.
It goes to my
So
smoothies.
good.
Mhm.
Turmeric, I swear by it. And if you want to whiten your teeth,
Yes.
brush your teeth with turmeric.
It's
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good. It's good, and even for your skin,
Yes,
on
it
a
is.
scrub, you
Mhm.
add it with sea salt and honey.
Absolutely.
See?
Yeah.
That is great.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
So, we're gonna-
you know I love my herbs. Now come on, let's
Let's
do
go to
it.
the
Let's jump
kitchen.
around while we
And
go.
this kitchen, this house is 6 bedrooms with 4 bathrooms, but because it was a tour place for tourists, well, the kitchen was something that people didn't prepare food because they go out. So I took it and I just made it into my lovely small kitchen.
Now,
So
this
how
is-
many people can stay here? If people wanted to book to stay, how many people could you have at a
We
time?
have up to maybe 4 rooms of people that can stay here.
Great, so you've got 4 rooms available.
Yes.
So if someone wanted to book,
Mhm.
how would they get hold of you?
Well, they can call us and we can give them more of our
Right.
information.
They can email us, it's best.
Yes.
And
Yeah, what's your email address?
SpicyTastyVegan@gmail.com. The same as
So
the book.
spicy, tasty, vegan at gmail.com.
And we have a website, and that is Spicy Tasty Vegan Cuisine. And the YouTube channel is Spicy Tasty Vegan Cuisine.
I'm
Yes.
glad you're singing,
Spicy.
because that brings me to your album. We haven't spoken about your music,
Mhm.
yeah, but I've even shared one of your videos on my channel before.
Thank you.
So you can give us a little song,
Oh.
Perhaps.
yeah? That would be amazing.
Okay,
It's,
let's
it's
do
spicytastyvegan.com.
Okay.
Yeah, let's sing that, okay?
All together.
Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2.
Spicy, tasty, vegan
cuisine.
Yes. Or spicytastyvegan.com. Yes.
Okay, I'm not gonna compete. Right? I'll just do a rap, yeah? If it's tasty, if it's spicy, if it's vegan cuisine, it's the food for me.
You're so original.
And now for the tour to the small kitchen.
Kitchen.
It gives out big things.
Okay,
Okay.
right.
And we also have a little treat for you all as well.
Oh
And
wow,
This
we
is,
love
our
treats.
refrigerator with a lot of our things. We usually have more, but
I love your fridge.
this is the refrigerator that we use and put everything in here. We also have one in the garage. And we do a lot of prepping where we prepare large amounts of stews and soups, and we take some and we freeze them as a starter. And we have all these, you see, this is our concoction oranges that the peels, the skin. We also, since moringa's out of season, I took some and dehydrated some. Oh, we put that, it's around here somewhere. And I also put some in the freezer so that if we want to have smoothies with papaya, we can, not papayas, but mangoes. They're in season and it's good for your body, keeps you healthy. And also my beans. I also soak my beans, kidney beans, chickpeas. We have sometimes the local black in the kitchen, in our small kitchen, we have here different herbs. And so I have lemongrass, sage, herb, the ginkgo, what is it? Ginkgo biloba.
Yeah.
This is really
We
good
call it
for
a ginkgo
reducing-
balboa.
Balboa.